Our next animation is going to be this cat looking up and down. It's going to be a bit more complicated. It's going to use a composite set and the delay trigger. Let's get in and make our kitty. Back over to our animation page, and I might draw out a frame to get us started. And back in design here, starting with moving to some oranges. And that's going to be our background. So I'll keep these aligned. All right, now for our cat is going to be made out of some basic shapes, an ellipse to start with. I'll just draw the cat outside of the frame. And cat's going to be using those oranges as well. Does that look a bit brighter, I think? Something like that. Okay, now we'll need some ears for our cat, and we're going to make that with a star, funnily enough. Draw out a star. I'm going to change the amount of spikes on the star to 3, and I'm going to adjust this, I don't know what they call this property here, the ratio, so that it's popping out a little bit. And then I'm also going to add some corner radius so it's a bit softer. And oops, can't remember which one this is actually. Oh, this colour here. Alright, that looks good. And I'm going to copy that, paste another version over the top of it, and just adjust the scale of that. And we might change that to a lighter colour. Like so. Drop it down a little bit, and we'll group those two things together. And I might call that ear. It's probably good for us to be naming everything in our layers palette as we go. And I might send that to the back. And I'm duplicating that. That was Option Shift Drag. And creating our second ear. That looks good. Now let's create a couple of eyes. They will simply be ellipses. So they're going to be white to start with. And I'm going to copy that, Command C, Command V, and hold Option down and Shift, and create a pupil. Duplicate those two things as well. I'm not going to group those. We need to make a nose and a mouth now very quickly using the star again. And 3-point star. Soften it off. That looks like a nose upside down. Just flip it around. And give it a kind of a brown colour, I think. Great. Nose, and zooming in, I'm going to use the Bezier pen tool to draw the mouth of our cat. Hitting escape, I'll make that a bit bigger, soften off the edge, and I'm going to create a vector network there. By adding a node to that vector. And we'll color that stroke. And that's looking good. There's our cat, I reckon. Now let's animate it. I'm going to place all of these elements inside a frame. I'm going to go to the frame selection option. So that's wrapped everything into a frame. Now I want to make that frame just a little bit bigger so that we've got a bit of movement or padding around it. So I'm going to hold the Command key down and Option and Shift, and I can just expand my frame around my cat. Command and drag in an edge. So we've got some space to animate in there, and I'm going to call that frame, we'll change the name of that frame to cat1. Okay, now we'll duplicate this frame 4 times. So I'm going to hold Option down and drag, Shift drag, and then I'm going to go Command D 2 more times. So we'll create our animation keyframes in these different versions of our cat. You can see our cat in our layers there. So cat 2, this is keyframe 2, our cat's going to be looking up, so let's make some adjustments. First of all, our eyes are going to be looking up, going up to the top. Oops, missed one pupil in that selection. So we'll take them kind of up to the top and take the pupils up as well. And while the cat's looking up, their ears are going to dip behind their head. So something like that, just using the move tools to rearrange everything. And their nose is going to, kind of in a perspective way, their nose is going to go towards the top of their head. Something like this. Maybe even a bit higher. That looks good. Definitely looking up, kind of changing the perspective of the cat, as if the head is sort of rolling back a little bit. And then we'll bring the cat back to this neutral position, and then the cat's going to look down. So their eyes this time are going to come down to the bottom of their head shape. We'll move the nose down. Maybe just going to change the position of that a little bit. And their ears are going to pop up a little bit. And maybe elongate just a tad. Alright, so there are our keyframes. Neutral up, neutral down. Now, all 4 of these are going to become part of a component set. Great, and we'll go over to prototype and we'll link these together. So our first cat, cat1, we'll create an interaction where that one links to cat2. And in here we'll go, instead of on tap, we'll go after delay. And after, this is just not quite 1 second, it's going to change to cat2, it's going to smart animate, and we might just use the bouncy option instead of the custom. And that's great, we'll follow through with that similar approach with the cat 2 to 3 and then cat 3 to 4, and making sure they're all after a delay. And then this cat will take all the way back to cat 1 after a delay. Great. We'll call this cat component, and in our assets we'll have on our animation page we'll have our cat asset, and we'll pop it in the center, and we'll create a flow point which we'll call cat flow, and we can test that. And you can see our cat moving between those different states after a delay of about 1 second. And that's pretty cute, I reckon. Nice little asset.